Welcome back to the i427 garage, everybody. Jim's car's done. Let's take a walk around and show you everything that we did on the car. All right, little different project this time around. Still a factory 5, still a Roadster, but we got this one somewhat completed, and we just had to put on some of the finishing touches in order to get it to the point where it could be driven and enjoyed by Jim, the new owner of the car. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look around and show you what we did. You know, some of the most obvious things, obviously, are the paint. We had nothing to do with that, although our painter, Jeff Miller, painted this car. And what a magnificent job Jeff does just all the time. Now, starting here in the front, you can see the fake oil cooler that we've got there. And we did our best to make it look as neat and professional as we could. I think we did a really good job. We had the original Factory 5 radiator. This is the AFCO radiator that Factory 5 used to use. We had that pressure tested, and then we reinstalled that using the Breeze upper and lower mounts. We also used a Breeze lower hose on this, and it really came out nice. We were able to reutilize almost all of the nose aluminum. The only thing that we had to replace as far as nose aluminum was the passenger side piece. It was just it was too far gone, and there were too many holes in it, and so we dug into the pile of panels that we keep here in the shop, and we managed to pull one out from an old Mark III project that we used a one-piece radiator surround in. So that's done. We upgraded the brakes. Now, we didn't change the calipers or the rotors, but what we did do is we had the rotors machined, because even though the car only had a few miles on it, the rotors had already had service rust on them. And it looked as though the rotors were glazed along with the brake pads. And so we upgraded these to some Hawk HP pads, both front and rear. So those are all done. Jim picked up some side louvers. These are like the Factory 5 premium side louvers. You can also get these from other places. You know, some of the Cobra Restoring online stores have the same louvers, but I think Jim did pick these up from Factory 5. So those are in. We had to take the side pipes off because we had to lower the engine. If you remember, the engine was making contact with the hood. And so I'm going to show you something I don't think I've ever showed in any of the other videos, but this beautiful paint that Jeff Miller did was compromised. There's just a tiny little crack right here from the scoop out to about the edge of this white stripe. And the stacks for the Weber carburetors were coming into contact with that hood scoop, and actually knocking into the hood scoop and trying to push that hood scoop right off the car. So we lowered the engine. We removed some spacers that the original builder had put in there. We're still scratching our heads to understand why, because there were also some spacers underneath the transmission, and then the drive shaft was too short too, so we had to have the drive shaft lengthened. Things that we did on the interior of the car, we finished off the shoulder harnesses. There were never any shoulder harnesses in the car before. There were just lap belts. Although the slits in the carpeting on this side were already in here. So it's like when we got close to the end of the project, or when the previous owner got close to the end of the project, I just think it was something that he had planned on doing and just didn't get to. And he just probably figured that lap belts were good enough for what he was going to use the car for in the time he had left. sad to say. But we've got new harnesses in, and we went ahead and we put the seatbelt trims from our buddy Mike Everson in there as well. We've got a couple of Mike's parts. We've also got Mike's steering wheel bezel over there on the dash. I had one of those in stock, but that is Mike's piece. What else? Oh, we finished off the door sills. These areas here were just raw aluminum. They were just the aluminum panels that Factory 5 supplies you. Now, the funny thing is that over here on this back edge of the cockpit, there was like upholstery glue, which leads me to believe that the carpeting and the upholstery went in after the car was painted. And if that's the case, then why weren't these door sills carpeted? It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. Regardless, we picked up some carpeting, we covered those, we made everything look as nice as we could back here, but in these areas that we knew were going to get a lot of heavy foot traffic on both sides of the car, here and on the driver's side, we went ahead and we installed this like corner edge guard. And we got it in a bronze finish, so it matches the car. Black would have been nicer, but this is what was available, and we've got those installed, and I think they're really going to work out nice. Jim also, near the beginning of the build, decided that he wanted to trade out the powder-coated black roll bar that he had for a chrome one, and so we went ahead and put that in. The trunk is full of some spare parts and car cover that Jim has, but we also installed the trunk struts, so now the trunk can open and close and hold itself open. So that's a nice little feature. One of the first things we did on the car when we got it here was to do the license plate mod so that we could fit a standard size plate, state plate, in here. So we actually had to make a bracket that raised the plate up and tucked it into the actual license plate light housing. So that's all done. But last thing we did was this afternoon, and I went around and detailed the entire car. So vacuumed out the inside, used the duster to get all of the surface dust off of the car, and then just went after it with the detail spray and a terry cloth cotton rag, and we got everything nice and pretty. Even cleaned up the wheels, cleaned up the windshield and the wind wings, and so everything's looking really, really nice. So we're looking forward to having Jim come out here and hopefully approve of everything we've done here on his car. And then take it home and start enjoying it. All right, so this project's done, and like I said, it's a little bit different than some of the others. I don't think we're not gonna do the glamour shots outside because we didn't build the car. We just finished it. We took care of some of the fine details that needed to be done on the car to get it roadworthy. And so I'm not going to take credit for building this car because I didn't. I want Jim, the previous owner's family, I want them to feel as though they were part of this build. I'm not gonna try to take anybody's glory. For the most part, the car was put together pretty well. There were some things on the car that I changed, but they were primarily just little safety issues that I do on every one of these cars. We changed, some of the fuel system just because I think it in the long run it'll work better. But other than that, not a bad build at all, and I'm proud to say that we had a hand in it. So if you're enjoying the content here, please do the like, the share, the subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We'll see you next time with another project.